Oh, hi everybody. Thanks for dropping in. How are you doing today? So, well, I'm going to play probably my favorite, well, at least one of my favorite, if not my favorite game that's come out over the last year. That being said, I mean, I guess technically, Satisfactory came out, over the last year because they did release in the 1.0 and, Blueprints came out, which was another brilliant game. So at least top three, but depends on kind of what style of game I'm wanting to play. But definitely my most favorite survival game that's come out over the last year. This is The Last Plague Blight, and it's pretty brutal, hardcore kind of survival game. It's very realistic, and it is. Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. They have changed it a bit since it first came out. They've added some difficulty settings and some customization settings and whatnot. So it's not like when it was in its demo when it first released. It was just absolute brutality. It was there was only one way to play it basically. You couldn't make it easier. So they have given you the options for that. We're gonna start a new game and I'll show you just some of those options, which it's pretty self-explanatory. But they also, not too long ago, released a multiplayer. I have not tried it out yet, but yeah, you can do co-op multiplayer, which seems like it would be a lot of fun. I don't know. I don't know the dynamics of it, so I guess that could kind of change it. Might make it better or worse depending on how it's set up. But yeah, let's jump into it. So, as you can see, they have difficulties and play styles now. It used to just be, like I said, one setting. So we're gonna, just for the sake of playing through, I'm just gonna do easier, and we're gonna go less realistic. So this is just kind of your general difficulty setting, and then this less realistic, you get to use your map, and it's all filled in and stuff. If you play on more realistic, it says here, but you start with the map, but it doesn't show your location, so you have to like remember where you are on the map and use your compass and whatnot. And then you could do, the standard is just a little bit harder difficulty up here. You can also customize literally everything, which I haven't played with yet, but that would be fun. So we're gonna go just easy. I'm gonna skip the tutorials, and I'm gonna explain some of it as we go through, because this is gonna be I am streaming this, but I'm gonna turn it into some videos and a series as well, to kind of try and help some people out, because I think it can be an intimidating game to jump into, and I think a lot of people maybe you're hesitant about getting in. So yeah, if it's your first time playing, I recommend, unless you're a little bit sadistic, I recommend going easier, less realistic, and turning on the tutorials. Sorry. They definitely can be helpful and can show you. It's kind of a unique game, so it shows you some of the mechanics and whatnot, or you could just watch a video like this and it'll tell you all you need to know. Hopefully. I believe that the maps and stuff are randomly generated each time. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty certain. There are, more options coming soon. There we go. So this is done by a single developer, and he's been working many years on it. And it's come really a long ways since I played it long ago when it first hit, before the demo even, when he requested I don't know, it was, I guess, beta access or alpha access, but I mean, it's not like I was special. I mean, you just had to request it, and he got you in. But yeah, so there's a lot of new stuff coming. As of recording this, there's going to be an update in like a week or two probably that's going to really expand the building options, and then I don't know what kind of priority is like character customization and whatnot is. So here you go. You can see we're this guy. We got a backpack. We got an axe. We got You can see in the bottom right there, discovered the things, the bedrolls and the cured sausages and whatnot. That's because that's all in our inventory. First thing you want to do, definitely equip things on your belt. It's gonna give you, and you can just hotkey that down there. Gonna give you a lot more room. Room and inventory management is huge on this game. So really, the second thing is to check on your map if you're playing on the easier setting. Whoops. Don't enter random labels. Right click to label things on your map, so you can see we're there. That's where home is. That's the whole backstory. Is that, like, you know, we left and then we came back and now there's some sort of thing happening, and it like poisoned the village. There's nobody around. It's just us. So you can see there's some other villages nearby. I honestly have not completely gone through the game yet. I haven't finished it completely, so depending on how quickly we progress through here, might happen. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to look for ideally a decent water source. You're going to want trees nearby, and you're going to want to be not too far away from rocky outcrops. You can see these guys. Yeah. You want to get set up in a decent place to start, but you may have to move. You kind of want to not move if you can help it, but you're going to want to be close to the road as well, because you can definitely travel a lot quicker. Traveling around it takes some time in this game. It definitely, yeah. there's no, you can run, you can sprint, but there's no horses, there's no oxen, there's no, any of that stuff. Real quick, also one thing is what's it under, controls maybe? So the camera perspective, they've changed this as well. There's the third person, which you see here. I'm going to show you real quick what it used to be. This is the, oh no, oh, maybe not. Oh no. Okay. Well, that broke. Okay. Can we? Okay. Well, one moment while we reload that. I don't know why, but changing it in the middle in the middle of gameplay broke it. So there's a top-down perspective. There's a third-person perspective. Okay. No, not gameplay. Controls. We're gonna go back to third person. Anyways, I don't know why that happened, but whatever. So you can play around with that if you want. It's a little bit weird playing the top-down. It's a little bit different. But it's top down. It's, it's pretty standard. It's just a little bit different. So yeah, starting again. Just wait while this gets loaded up. So, all right, and that'll be a good time to double check. Yeah, you can see a bridge there. Yeah, we're in a different spot, right? We're over here. We were near the bottom right last time, but the maps look totally different. So, it is randomly generated. So, oh boy, we're in kind of a tough spot this time, but we'll have to see if maybe this bridge is intact. That bridge looks intact, but that's going to go to our home, which is you can't get into. There's some issues there. So. Perhaps we will. Wow, there's some rock. We're gonna kind of explore this area. We're gonna see about setting up here. So you want to find at least a temporary camp area pretty quickly, because again, that bedroll's on your back, and you do not want to be having to carry that along everywhere. Couple of things: you can scroll in and out with the view with the mouse wheel. Just moving the mouse around automatically does, you don't have to click and hold or anything, automatically moves the direction. I got a little signpost there. Are those new? I haven't seen a signpost, I don't think, before. So we're gonna go this way. We're gonna. I'm thinking we're gonna kind of set up right here. So we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what the surrounding area is. So you see this green fog over here. That's kind of the whole issue with everything, right? So there's this thing that they're calling the Blight. It came in. It's infecting things. It's killing things. That's all we know. It is definitely can be a lonely game. That's not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think. You know, that's kind of the whole premise. Is it's you by yourself in the wilderness. So this might be an okay. It's kind of far off. I'm thinking like over here, but it's kind of far off the path. But that's okay. You know what? We'll do it. It's okay. So you're gonna want to find yourself a little flat area, a relatively flat area. It'll just make things easier, at least for your first place. So we are going to go ahead and right click on there and just place this down. As you can see down the bottom, a lot of you know, your typical like building mechanics, you know, snapping to the grid and shifting its position and all that fun stuff. So once that's down, we're gonna just sort our sausages there. You're gonna want to go ahead and start picking things up. If you hit the Alt key, at least that's what it's by default, you can see it brings up the tags and the names of everything. You know, it's up to you if you want to play with that on or not. Otherwise, it's kind of when you get near it or you focus on it, it'll tell you what different things are. I tend to toggle back and forth, you know, depending on what I'm doing and what's kind of needed for the situation. So we're gonna start. Since there's no tutorial on this one, I just, you know, I kind of know what to do. I've played it once or twice. You're gonna want to collect long sticks and short sticks, and stones will be later. You're gonna want dogbane, because dogbane is what you use to turn into kind of like ropes or kind of lianas, or you know, whatever you want to call them. So there's different sizes of sticks, obviously. Lots of dogbane. Well, not lots. You know, you'll end up searching for it. There's plenty here, which is good. If you can try and I mean, you see things have different stack sizes and whatnot, and it's all pretty relative. Like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess technically your sticks, I think, have a 4 stack, and you know, they could go too high, so you can fit 8 in the space that you can fit 2 long sticks, and you only get 2 short sticks from each long stick, and things like that. So I mean, you know, you figure it out as you start to play along. But you're definitely gonna want a lot of long sticks. They're used for all sorts of building stuff. Twigs, I don't usually worry about as much. They're pretty easy to come by, and they're abundant once you start harvesting some other things. So we're just really going for the dogbane and the long sticks for right now, and then we'll kind of go back to our sleeping bag there, and I will show you, you know, how we're going to kind of set up camp. Dandelions as well. You're going to want plenty of those. I mean, well, let's be honest, it's a survival crafting game. You're going to want plenty of everything, except for those few things that there's just ridiculous amounts of, and you don't know what to use them for. You know, that's how it goes. That's how they all go. So you can use C or B for the building menus. It'll take you to, B will be like structures, this tab, C will be items. So what we're going to do is, we're going to make a thing, and I don't remember where it is. Shelter. No, I think it's under items, isn't it? I don't know. And when you get into this situation, you can just search, because that's what I need to do. So we're going to build a little lean-to. There it is. No idea what it's under. So one cool thing about this game is that you can begin to place, like the blueprint as long as you have one building item in your inventory. As long as you have something to start building with, you can go ahead and place it. So we're going to just kind of do we're going to do like that. Sounds great. And then, you know, as you can see, the blueprints up, it automatically put in whatever we had from our inventory that was relevant, and then we're going to still need to continue to collect some things. And, you know, you can hear that little scribble every now and then, and it says discovered down there in the bottom. That's, you know, some stuff in your journal. It'll add things as you encounter them and unlock them, and it's cool. You know, it tells you when you encountered it, gives you, you know, kind of all the information about it. You know, substances, which we'll get into later. I guess this would be handy to read. It could have given you a little synopsis of what's going on. So our task is to end the Blight. It's not clear where the Blight came from or how it spread so quickly. Your village, Grimsby, is a wasteland, and it doesn't look like any other parts of civilization in the barony of Bournemore have fared any better. I probably butchered that. You'll need to figure out some sort of way to minimize or eliminate its effects if you have any hope of surviving in the long run. The task would be to find clues about a potential anti-blight serum. Be on the lookout for clues. You've heard whispers of druids in a far-off land that know how to combat the blight. The stories talk about healing serums and fantastical elixirs that supposedly cure one's affliction entirely. If these tales are true, then there may be hope for humanity still. You do know that there were a few hermits and occultists taking shelter in the secluded wilderness around your village before the blight. Perhaps they may know more about the druids if they are still alive. So there you go. So you can, like I said, you can craft things. You can like come here and go to rip up the rope. I usually, a lot of things I'll just do from here in my inventory. Right, like you have these different options. And then it'll bring you, if you craft it, it'll bring you to the thing. I'm just going to do all of them. You have the little timer thing here. You can speed up. One cool thing, it'll automatically slow back down to regular time or stop if you have enemies. Oh yeah, there you go. Talks about it right there. But if you have enemies that come nearby, it'll adjust that for you. So I just added those in by shift clicking, and it'll auto transfer a whole stack. And then we'll get to chopping. So you do start with some pretty decent tools, not a lot of tools, but you have a steel hatchet and a steel knife, which are a bit damaged, but they're good. You know, they're high quality. So that is kind of a cool thing about this game as well, is that it doesn't stick you in the typical, you woke up, you don't know what happened, find stick, find rock, start from Stone Age. You start a little bit ahead. Pine branches are going to be another one of your best friends. We're going to use them in their whole form to continue building on this. Right? Yes, okay, there we go. I don't know why it didn't want to work. You can also click that, obviously, add from inventory. So, yeah, you chop down trees. They give you a trunk, and then they usually spew off, you know, that stuff that you saw fall. There's sticks, long sticks sometimes, there's branches. So now we have logs that we can chop those trunks into. Logs are going to be an absolute pain to carry around. Sorry, no way around it. You're going to need them for firewood. You don't have to use them. You can use other things to burn in your camp stove place, you know, your campfire. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Firewood's the way to go. And yeah, so that's another thing when you're looking to set up camp. Find somewhere that's you know, near plenty of those things. Those tall things. They're green. They have things on them. Yeah, trees. Those. So right now I'm doing kind of a temporary build for things. What do we? Oh, we need small stones. You know, at least a few things to get us going, right? And then we can kind of build up an actual camp, and we'll scout the area and make sure that things look good. So you're gonna want to, in the beginning, always carry at least one small stone with you. As you can see there in the yellow, it says can be used as an inefficient hammer. Yeah, guess what? That's the only hammer you're getting for a while. So unless you're lucky, you can You can't get lucky. So we're going to break one of these up into small stones to finish building that campfire, and we're going to use the other large one, to make a stone bowl, which we're going to need for things. One reason I don't like following the tutorial now is, one, it just, I mean, once you kind of know what to do, it's kind of pointless, but two, the order in which the things are recommended for the tutorial, to me, isn't really ideal in a lot of ways, and it kind of screws you up and slows down your progress, and can kind of be, it can maybe be tweaked a little bit. It's not bad, it just, that's my own personal preference and opinion of it, Okay, not enough space. So this they did not have before. You can sort two different ways, and you can auto sort vertically and then horizontally. So depending on, right now I need more room for long sticks, so I'm going to sort horizontally, so it gives us this height there. Yeah, that was an amazing addition. That was not always the case. Real quick, blueberry bush. Those will be your friend as well. Very helpful. Now, you might say, how do you keep figuring out how to get back to camp? I'm not sure. I've gotten lucky quite a few times, but once we get this fire pit going, it'll be much better, I promise. It'll be a lot easier. That being said, I just got rid of our tool, didn't I? I sure did, yep. So, if you see now, I cannot break this large stone up now, because I do not have the small stone, right? So you need it to hammer with. You need a tool, right? So that's what I mean about the realism and stuff of this game, which I appreciate and I like. I guess that's not to say that you couldn't break up a big rock without a small rock, but you'd have to like slam it on this one or something, which might be a cool kind of element for them to add on. So then in this game as well, multiple steps to building. So we did the blueprint, we have now fulfilled all the parts, now we have to actually build it, which is going to take time. Different things take different amounts of time, as far as time, you get to tap into your inner Boy Scout, Girl Scout, whatever you did, or nothing if you did nothing, whatever, your inner lumberjack man, and you get a look at the sun, and that's about how you tell the time. You don't have a watch, you don't have a cell phone, come on. What do you think this is? Bushes can be, okay, there's a boar. See him off in the distance. Bushes are a very good source of the smaller things. Trees are pretty much your only bet for the firewood. Boars tend to be pretty okay, if I remember correctly. They're not super aggressive. Bears? Yeah, stay away. Just no. Not until later. Not until you got some true weapons going on. No. There's some other things too. What else is there? There's rabbits, there's foxes, there's fish, there's... No, excuse me, not foxes. There's coyotes. I don't know. I believe there's birds as well. So we're gonna need to break down some of these. As you can see here, we can do an improvised spear. I'll make one of those just so we have a little bit of protection if we need it, just in case, The rest of these we're gonna break down into sticks, at least some of them. See how far we are here. We're good on that, so we just need some more pine branches and ropes. So we will go on a little hunt for dogbane, which there's plenty of right here, which is lovely. I don't know for absolutely certain, but it does seem that several things regenerate, not super quickly, but like the dogbane, new trees will populate. They don't regenerate per se, but they'll, like, these are generally speaking like pine trees, and they'll drop pine cones, and then that'll turn into new trees, and that kind of a thing. We are not too far from water, which is good. Also, once you build the fire pit, as you can see, we have a marker now, so you don't have to actually mark camp. Let's see what this water is looking like. It's looking okay. So I'll just give an example real quick of actually, you know what? Well, anyways, we'll use that to get water later. I'll do this as somewhat of a tutorial. I'm not going to go super ADHD if I can accomplish that. That's a mighty fine task, but we'll see. So I'm going to try and keep it somewhat cohesive here. When you're starting out, if you're on the lower difficulty, it's not as big of a deal. If you're on the higher difficulty, definitely start gathering some blueberries as soon as you have a chance. That's going to be your quickest, easiest, both food and water. As you can see, these say they are 2% contaminated. So as you continue to eat things, and then below that, on the bottom there, if you can see in the red numbering, it's plus 0.01. So they're somewhat contaminated with the blight, and as you eat things, that 0.01, it'll add up and it'll stack, and it'll give you actually another bar here of your contamination levels. You can concoct things as time goes on to cure your contamination levels, but in the beginning, try not to let that get up, because it's gonna screw you up. It's gonna hurt. Also, so there you go. There's a rabbit running away. You can try and hunt them with spears if you want. We'll get to some other stuff later too. Wild garlic, though, if you find some immediately, get at least one. And I'll show you right now what we can do with that. It's gonna be kind of a waste, but that's okay. I'll just show you. Do we have enough dogbane now? We'll gather these up, and then we will check, and we'll make up the rope with everything that we need. So let's just click on that to do them all up. And once we're done, it should be enough. 6? I don't know. I don't remember how many we needed. Oh. Also, you will want small pieces of flint if you can find them. So flint's going to be used for, well, what flint's used for. It's going to be used as part of, like, making, I just blanked out on the name of what, like, the contraption, but it's going to be used to create sparks to help build a fire, and it can be used, also, you can, like, nap it and turn it into certain tool heads and whatnot. Like, you can turn it into a spearhead and some other stuff. There we go. Okay, excellent. So we just need a few more of the pine branches. Weren't there some more bushes? Let's see, how much room? Okay. So the other thing you're going to want to do, and it helps to plan a little bit. You don't have to. But it's just, it'll make your life easier. With this, you can start a stockpile. So these are the long sticks. You can do it with pretty much everything. Not every single thing can you create a stockpile with, though. So you see I got those 4 little markers. That's going to be the size of my stockpile. It automatically puts them all in there, which is quite nice. Do it for some rocks as well. You see this one's smaller, but you're going to want to, you can pick these up and move them. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of a pain. So that's why I say you want to plan a little bit. You know, make them accessible, but kind of out of the way. You'll go through this stuff. I mean, it's, you know, you'll be using it to build things and whatnot, but it's just nice to have them kind of in a good location, you know, from the outset. In this game especially, the less you have to, like, redo and remove, the better. Because your inventory doesn't get much greater. I mean, there's some stuff later on that you'll see, but it's not, you know, you're not unlocking, like, a 4x4 Jeep with a trailer or something that you can, you know, pack up the RV in, and you know, so we will craft more of these real quick. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. And then we're gonna look for some pine branches is definitely what we're gonna need. So just show you real quick, since we're getting low down here. Berries, you can, you know, it does tell you how much food you get. Wow, whopping 0.5 or 0.1 liquid. So you can eat them. You can eat them one at a time if you want. So now you see this popped up. It didn't do much, but that's your blight, your infection. The other thing you can do is you can equip your bowl. This is why I like to craft one of these right away, basically. And then you can create juice, which will hydrate you better. However, it does not satiate your hunger. So you gotta kind of, play the balance. But to start, you come in with, like 10 cured sausages or something like that. Because why wouldn't you? So you'll see, every time we crush up a berry, it's giving us 10 milliliters of juice. This can hold up to 200. So we'll just fill it on up. And oops, I was one off there. Fill it on up, and here we'll right click. And then this is one of the cool things that I like about this game as well, is it gives you a lot of options. Now if you unequip it, or you empty it, or you move it into your inventory, contents will be emptied if placed in the slot. So you can just up and dump that out. Don't want to do that. If it's like just water, it's not a big deal. You worked hard to make that berry juice, drink it, right? So that's something to be aware of. But you can also transfer into other containers and stuff, and you'll see that as we go along as well. But there's different kinds of vessels and containers, and you can transfer things. You can, it's got a ticker and a slider, so you can actually choose exactly how much you transfer, things like that, which is really cool. And then of course just the options to drink like half and all. They don't have an option to drink an exact amount, unfortunately, but we'll drink all that. Okay. Now that we're done with that dissertation, we're gonna try and find a bush to find a few more branches. I thought there was some more around. If not, we'll just chop down a tree. It really isn't a big deal. We're gonna need the firewood anyways. I just was hoping. Yeah, no, not really. Okay. So let's just start chopping some trees. One option is you can chop some down and kind of leave the trunks, and then slowly gather the wood if you need. You can do stockpiles of the firewood, just like the other stuff. So it's really open. It's up to you, your play style. And you see there we're starting to get a bit tired. You do start the first days, like midday, so you don't get a full day in. So we'll try and get at least the campfire going and the lean-to up, and then move on. I love the sounds of this game. Also, if you notice, you scroll and you get closer, it gets a lot louder. Very excellent proximity sound in this game. If that's, those are words, but I don't know if that's really how you would explain it or say it or whatever, but that's what I'm calling it. So there. Alright, there we go. Got our lean-to built. I'm hammered on, so things are taking a little bit longer, but that's okay. So you see, this lean-to is definitely taking us longer to build than, say, the fire pit, right? More complex, more pieces in it. Generally speaking, that's kind of how it goes. It's like, however many pieces are in it, or like, takes that many steps to build it, kind of a thing. And now that we're done there, we will go ahead and chop these guys. So I don't know if you noticed earlier when we carried those logs, there was an option to place them. So you have to, chop a felled tree into logs and then chop that into firewood. Again, you don't have to. You can fuel the fire with other things, but this is going to be your most efficient option. As you see there, you can just right click and it'll add it. Otherwise, you can shift click or drag over or whatever you want to do as well. So, yes, lighting fires of any kind. So you're going to have tinder, you're going to have kindling, and you're going to have the ignition source, which is why I grabbed that flint earlier. I like to keep one on hand, at least one on hand, that is always just for starting fires. Because this will stay in here. As you see, this now become the inventory of the campfire or the fire pit. So that's no longer mine. Yeah. This is where pine branches come quite handy, is lighting all the fires and whatnot. I feel like people are split on the fires, and I'll tell you what I mean in just a second. So, pine branches, used for building a few things, not much. Some roofing and the lean-tos and whatnot. Usually, you're going to use it for this. You're going to strip it down and you get sticks and pine leaves out of it. Sticks and pine leaves are, well, I take that back. Pine leaves are going to be used as the, I believe, the tinder. And then sticks you're going to want to break down into twigs, which are going to be used for the kindling, I believe. I might have those backwards. Let's see. Yeah, kindling, and then the tinder. So it takes 4 of each. You can throw the extra one in there for fuel. So you see here we have a 100% chance to ignite. You can use other things aside from flint to try and start. For instance, I think you can, yeah, you can use sticks. See, now we have a 75% chance. So basically I go with flint. There we go. Campfire started, lean-to up. Yay, day 1. So the campfires. I'm not basing this on anything. It's not like I've seen arguments or anything, but I feel like people are probably in one of 2 camps. Bad pun. But people are probably on one side or the other of the fence about the campfires. I feel like there's probably those people who want to keep it lit the entire time and try to, and then there's those who just continually relight it in order to save fuel. So I don't know. Let me know where you stand on it. How do you feel? I'm pretty sure I sit in the middle of the fence. So you see these bigger trees. We got a thick log. You can only carry one of those, so some things, you're limited. So we're carrying both hands. The smaller logs, you carry one in each hand. But this thick trunk, junk in the trunk there. Thick hunka chunka. But there, it's an equivalent ratio. It gives you 4 firewood for each one, rather than 2 for each smaller log. So it all works out in the end. Yeah. There we go. Hear them coyotes? Yeah. Having a fire is pretty much going to make sure nothing attacks you as well. As far as the wildlife, there was some issues with it, but I think they patched everything out, so it should be good. Nice thing, I guess you could use this like a watch, actually. I hadn't really thought about that, but you see there's a timer for your fires. You have that with everything. It does give you times and amounts and stuff, which is quite handy. You can auto add fuel. You notice how the timer didn't go up. So that fuel's like in here in reserve, but it's not added to the fire, so not enough room because it's too much fuel. So if you can just control click to drag 1, so now it'll allow me to. So your fire fuel remaining, I think the limit's 10 hours, but then you can also have extra fuel here, which is a good thing, but it can be a bad thing. It depends on what you're doing. So you can hold, what is it? I think 8. You might be able to hold 12. I don't know. I don't ever fill it up, and I'll kind of show you why. So, okay. Well, so anyways, you see, if you fill it up, it's going to add 13 hours and 20 minutes. So you can never add it, because it's going to try and add all of it. So you're going to have to take a stack out, and then add that when it's down. So I like to leave 1 in there, so I can just quickly do it if I need to. And then the other fuel, or the other firewood, I just make a stockpile. And I usually make it I try to make it kind of right near it, which makes sense, right? So you don't have to, you can just grab it and turn around, basically. So yeah. kind of the general gist of things. Oh, the other thing that I was going to get to, which, yeah, we have time. So we will... This is what I was going to go ADD about, and just start tangenting, but we did it in order. Hurrah. I didn't get too distracted. Well done. So it is very nice to be near a water source, which I think I said already, but maybe not. So we're going to fill up our stone bowl with lake water, and then those, if you use, left or right or mouse 1 or 2, whatever, it's going to depend. It's your, main hand to off hand. So this is in our off hand, so you right click to fill it up. We could have left click to drink, but you don't want to do that. It causes, you run a risk of not good things happening. So yeah, look, plus 16 instant bacterial infection of the blight. So yeah, not great. So what we can do though, so we can examine our fire pit here. We can drag this over gently to the cooking surface place. Ingredients we'll get to later on. You can cook some things. So as you can see, we can boil our 200 milliliters of crappy water, which would give us 24 thirst, but we can boil it down. It's only 140 milliliters now, but it's clean, it's potable, it's now 28 thirst, so do it on up. That is why you want to be near water, because you're gonna have to gather water. There are rain catchers, there's vessels you can use to get more water, which we'll get to hopefully on day 2. And then there's also other things you can do that you'll need water for. So briefly, let's do this. Let's go ahead and equip a stick in our main hand, and you see all of a sudden we can till soil. So yes, you can do some minor farming. Well, not even minor. I mean, you can do some pretty major farming when it gets down to it. It's just a lot of work. So we're gonna till up some of this, and I'm not really worried about doing it in the best spot or inlet or whatever right now. I'm just kind of illustrating this as a point because I'm not going to be able to take too much care of it. But if you can, it's a really good thing to till up some soil and go ahead and get that garlic. Like I said, if you can find it right away, it's nice because you can break this down into 6 cloves from each bulb. So each clove you can plant. See? Plant. So you got to do it on the tilled soil. So it's nice to set up. I'm sorry. I'm giving you the OCD trigger warning right now. It's probably not going to be pretty. I'm probably just going to slap it together a little bit. Sounds like our water is done boiling because it stopped sizzling. There we go. No, I can't. Yeah, no, there. Okay, there. So I'm just going to plant a few just to kind of show you the idea. I'm going to hold on to some as well. As you can see, you can examine it. It's got all sorts of details. You're going to want to craft some vessels to hold a lot of water and water your crops. Otherwise they'll die, which these probably will, because I probably won't get to it. We'll see. See if I want to take the time of doing this right here. Let's here. Otherwise you got to do this. See. Okay. Let's take our small stone bowl. I'm not even running in the right direction. Let's take our small stone bowl, run away from water in order to get water. Oy. Alright. So we're gonna fill it up. Honestly, I've never paid attention to how far the watering goes, like how much you need to actually water. These are very dry over here, I think. So let's see. I don't know. Let's see what happens. And it doesn't dry out immediately. Like they stay for a few days, which is nice. But we can just water it. Let's see. It's going. Oh yeah, that used like half of. Okay. I mean, we could basically water both of them with one, so that's not too bad, I guess. So yeah, you can absolutely. So it's damp, I guess, which is a a downer, but you can absolutely get some garlic going on the first day, which is very nice. You'll want garlic for cooking. It just helps. It just makes everything taste better. Okay. You want your food to taste good, right? Um, so crafting more complex meals in this game does actually have a benefit. It does, you know, they do work better. They provide extra stats and all that stuff. Oh, you can now chop stumps. I didn't know that. So another thing, it's nice to have trees by. Not necessarily your first camp, but at least as you get going, you're going to want them because these stumps, as you can see, you can use as forge, basically. You're going to... I'm not sure exactly what you would... I guess it's a forge. I don't know. You do use it for metalworking, though. I don't... I mean, it's labeled a forge, so... Yeah, it's kind of like using... You kind of use it as the anvil, I guess, to forge things and roll things and bang things. Sure. I'll pretend I know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and cut these logs up, and then we're gonna call it a night. And then in the morning we'll get a few other basic survival things, kind of trying to get set, and should be kind of good to go. Now, fun thing you can do in this game as well, but you certainly don't have to if you don't want to. I like to sometimes, just for the sake of realism. You can just slide off your backpack right there. I think you can also place, maybe. Yes, you can also place if you want to be nice. You know, you could maybe place it like right here, and you can't quite get it up there, but it's almost like it's your pillow, right? And then we can slide on into bed. I guess we could have put our tools in the backpack as well, but no, I like to wear them on my belt when I'm sleeping. So you estimate sunrise to be about 7 hours from now. You need 8 hours to recoup all of your energy, and the nearby fire has 8.5 hours. So this is a nice little thing that they do. They let you know whether or not you're going to have enough fuel. So you need to make sure, if you don't want to restart that fire in the morning, you better make sure you have enough fuel in it for the nighttime. So you see there, our energy's increasing. Thirst and hunger, of course, decreasing. We'll go ahead and leave rather quickly so that we can, yes, do this. So this is why I like to leave the reserve, because then in the morning you can just click it and just keep it going. That's if you're of the keep the fire going camp. You might be of the I don't need the fire right now, why the hell is it burning? It's wasting fuel camp. So yeah, depends on which side you stay on. Oh, whoops, no. Pick it up. Don't examine it. Pick it up. You see how beautifully bright and lovely and wonderful it is today, huh? Yes, look at that. Handy thing about these stockpiles as well is you don't have to actually go into your inventory or bring up anything. You can walk by them, right click, and there you go. You have added everything of relevance into that place, that thing, that stuff. We're gonna fill up, eat some sausages. Nothing like a little sausage and grape juice breakfast, right? That's what we're having. Grape and sausages. Just like Grandma used to make. So the other thing, generally, unless I am going out and I have a reason to take it, I leave. I just make one bowl and I just leave it there, unless I need it for something. So we're gonna collect some more wood and some more stones and kind of clear out loot the area, I guess, not clear out. And I guess we'll just start with the easiest ones, right? I don't know, if you leave small trees, I don't know if they grow into large trees. I know they have young trees that I believe will turn into either small or large trees. But I don't know. Honestly, I haven't tested any of that. I'm usually don't really have whatever time to test it. You need it, you know. It's like no time to chop that one down. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna turn into. Nobody will know. Oh yeah, there's a pine cone. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Sometimes I like to just kind of pick everything up, at least in the immediate area, because, you know, it's your camp. You want it to look nice and stay clean. You don't have to by any means, but if you play with this on, it'll help you a lot, because otherwise it's going to be cluttered with all sorts of words, and you're not going to know what's what and where. Another thought, too, you can always bring some logs back and just leave them up. Save some chopping for later. You know, maybe you want to do it as an evening time activity, you know, leave the logs there, then when it's evening and it's kind of too dark to be doing other stuff, you can just chop some wood, build up your pile. You know, there's a lot of different ways to play the game, which is great. It is absolutely ultra realistic with things like that. I think we're gonna have to start a pine. Okay, not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. We're gonna have to start a pine branch pile here. Probably a twig pile as well. And a small stick pile. I generally just try and make a little stockpile of kind of, you know, the most common items or materials when I first start. They're ones you're gonna use a lot, and that way they're just there. You know, you kind of know how much you have. You don't have to go looking for them. And that. So let's go ahead and start a stockpile of twigs, and we'll start one of these bad boys, the vine branches, which will be alright because we'll take this tree out. So that'll be okay that that's there. And then the shorter ones, which I also tend to not like to really overlap them. I like to leave them kind of along a row, if you will. You know, you can do different ways, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. But sometimes it's kind of annoying to try and fit things in or whatever. You know, they kind of overlap and they kind of becomes a hindrance sometimes. Not always, though. So as you can see, this large tree is taking significantly longer, which I think we did chop down one large tree already, but, you know, another fun mechanic. I mean, it takes a lot more energy, takes a lot more time. It's realistic, you know? It gives you more stuff, too. Sorry, had to just be there for that fall. So we will go ahead and gather up this, clear up this mess, and okay, not what I meant to do, but that works too. So as you can see, this is kind of what I was talking about things being a little bit overlapped sometimes. It does highlight the item that you're on, which is where I find it very handy to use Alt and have all the labels on. But sometimes when you're just running around, it definitely can get obnoxious, so, you know, it's one of those things. I definitely toggle. Alright. We have our Mighty Duck, Flying Ducks, Flying V, Mega formation. One thing I will note quickly is if you have you know, if you have certain proclivities or you're inclined to get a bit touchy about things being in the way and left, say like you were building here and these were kind of below it, make sure to clear the area before you build, and make sure to, if you're like deconstructing, to try and pick everything up, because things will get stuck. Yeah. it's set me off a few times before, and you just have to, every time I run by it, you just turn off the tagging system. uh Alright, so we're trying to get things cleaned up a bit. As time goes on and you get other tools and stuff, you can actually flatten the ground, you can change the ground in it, you can do like floors and stuff. But obviously this is our, you know, what, we're on day 2 now. Well, really the first full day. So obviously we just have makeshift stuff for now. We have temporary camp set up, which is fine. Gotta start somewhere. But definitely starting organized will help. What is... oh, really? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, I don't think scrapwood was a thing before, now that I think about it, because I don't think, like, earlier, I was surprised you could chop these. No, chop. So you get scrapwood from stumps, and that's, okay. So it's used, you can make, what was it, the paddle? And we could make the shovel, which was cool. You do need a saw to make the shovel, but, and the paddle both, but, that's really cool, because it used to be that you had to have nails and some other stuff to make those, which I guess you need bronze to make the shovel anyway, or the saw anyways, so I mean, it's not like it's unlocking it any earlier. I guess if you stumble upon a saw, then you're in luck. But it at least saves some resources. You don't have to make it out. Either that or they changed the recipe. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you don't need nails anymore. We shall see. That's a heck of a lot of scrap wood. It did say we can use it for fuel as well. I'm interested to see how much it adds. 13 minutes per piece versus the whatever it is, like hour and a half, 2 hours for a piece of firewood. Interesting. Okay. I mean, hey, it's free, right? I mean, it's not that big, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna put it kind of here in the middle. I don't know what to do with it, honestly. But we will clear away some of the inventory here. There we go, that's better. Oh, pine cones. So you're gonna wanna, you can right click on these, do a little crafting. You can empty them out. You get pine nuts that you can eat and maybe cook with, I don't know. And then you get pine cone, which you can use for kindling as well. they don't fill you up much, but if you need them and you're in a pinch, like, hey, they work, you know? There you go. See? I mean, you know, I wouldn't try and live on them, but it's nice. You can carry quite a few in a stack. There was, I think, 20 or whatever, and, you know, if you need, they don't take up much room, so if you need to carry them or you need survival food, hey, they'll work. If you can't, you know, if you're trying hunting and it's not working, or, you know, whatever it is. Oh, there's that bush I was looking for earlier. Dag nabbit. There we go. Oh yeah, can't move stuff while we're using it. Again, realistic, right? We're chopping, so you can't move something from your offhand because you're using it to chop the tree. Use the axe. All right. Do we have room for some dog bane? Yes, indeed. Excellent. Excellent. Start clearing out some of this stuff. And we are steadily making our little house into a home. Well, our little lean-to into a mean-to. Didn't mean to make that bad pun, but it happened. There's no going back now. Alright. Excellent. I'm feeling much better about this. There we go. There we go. And then we just have some data lines there that we'll leave for the time being. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We should take out this last one, and then we'll be doing pretty good. I guess let's grab these. We'll leave the mushrooms as well for now. And then we'll clean up this guy. I love the shadows. Oh look, there's a deer. I forgot about deer too. There's deer. Oh, is it gonna? It's two of them, aren't there? Nope, we can get that one. So, case in point, that pine cone. Oh no! Wow, we got lucky. That pine cone I thought lived underneath those. We did indeed get lucky. So, I'm just going to take a moment, finish chopping all this wood. I do rather like our, I'm leaving this one here. I'm just chopping this to the side because I like our little V fortress there. It's a little, you know, it's like a first defense against anybody. Oh, you want to come towards my lean-to? I mean, obviously the sides are still open, but it works for that direction. Alright, so it looks like we have maxed out that stockpile. Add on some more there, and we'll start another. Actually, this I'll put into the fire as well for the backup fuel. There we go. Grab this. Okay. Well, I feel that was pretty good introductory little tutorial. Yeah, we got our campfire going. We got some water, liquid, drink situation figured out. We got plenty of wood going. We got some resources started for the building and the whatnot. And, I mean, food we don't really have figured out yet. We got pine nuts and berries and our smoked sausages. Yeah. Food, we need some, but that's okay. There's plenty of options. So yeah, with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it for this one. And then we will just keep on going. Next episode, I'm gonna show you some of the cooking, some of the food options, and then we're gonna get into the big mystery reveal. We're gonna go ahead and try and find some clay, which is going to open up all sorts of opportunities for us. And that's kind of mud and clay is kind of the next step of where we need to go in order to continue to progress. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed watching. Hopefully, me playing through this will kind of open some more people up to this game. I think it's one that's totally flying under the radar. It has it released in October, I think, and it has 800 reviews maybe. It's definitely an unsung hero. It's an incredible game, in my opinion. Anyways, I really love it. So, yeah, I'm gonna go swing an axe, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and save it, and we will continue on next time. And I will see you then. Take care, everybody. Bye.